Welcome to Win Souls TV. This is your host Jeff Thomas, and today we are going to talk about procrastination. Okay, that's my homeboy Reese. Give me some, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. See? Give me some more. Shake. Oh, putting on a show for y'all. Now, there are two forms of procrastination. This is going to be a short video, guys. I just really want to make it short and sweet for you guys. There are two forms of procrastination. So this is the first form. The first form isn't necessarily something that's bad. The first one isn't bad, and say I'm writing a book, right, which I already have, and procrastinating can actually help that book. Why do I say that? Say I'm going through a chapter that I haven't already outlined exactly what I'm going to talk about. I don't know what I'm going to talk about in this chapter. I've only written down the chapter title. Well, if I put that book off for a little while and I don't necessarily have a deadline for that book, then in my mind I can kind of process exactly how I want that chapter to play out. So the first type of procrastination, and excuse my voice guys, I'm a little hoarse, but that first type of procrastination is actually good in terms of allowing our creative juices and for the Lord to literally step in and say, okay, hey, let's talk about this on this chapter, or let's talk about this on this chapter. So it's just like the more time that you take away from it, it's like the more creative activity that goes on outside of just sitting in front of a computer screen trying to actually type the book and forcing your way into actually getting the work done, versus taking time away and then moving forward after you've gotten all of your ideas out. The next form is the bad form, and literally, simply put, everybody knows that form. Okay, it's literally putting away or putting aside things that you know you need to get done for small gratification here and now. And I'm going to give you a quick solution to that. As Christians, there are a lot of causes in this world. There are a lot of bad things that are going on, but we are the solution to those problems. We are the solution to those causes. We are the solution to those bad things that are happening. And the reason that I say that is because Jesus is that solution. And we walk around with Jesus, that light and that salt on the inside of us. And so with that, we need to be expressing that everywhere that we go. And we don't have time to procrastinate, and we don't have time to slow down. And all of us are victims of procrastination. And I just want to give you guys a tool that will actually help you guys out in terms of not procrastinating when people are in dire need. Okay? And a lot of times the root and the foundation of procrastination isn't the fact that you just don't want to do something. It goes a lot deeper than that. It has to do with you avoiding any type of form of stress that situation or actually doing that activity may cause on you. And so by you avoiding the stress, what you'll do is you'll pick up that burger, or you'll watch that TV program, or you'll watch that show, or you'll watch that movie, and you'll play that video game so that you can have some form of fun, some form of excitement, some form of a good emotion that you wouldn't normally feel if you were actually doing that activity. But what you don't realize is that, or what we don't realize is that, by putting off that activity, the more and more that stress begins to build. So it's actually detrimental to us to put aside a specific task to avoid a small amount of stress, when in reality, the longer that we put it aside, the more stress we'll gain in the future. And so I wanted to give you a great example of an individual that literally did not waste any time in the Bible. When he said he was going to do something, he immediately jumped in. Even before he said he was going to do something, it was like his feet were already moving in that direction. someone who is absolutely courageous, and that person is David. So let me read this to you. I'm coming out of 1 Samuel 17, 20 through 22. Let me read that to you. So David rose up early the next morning, left the sheep with his keeper, took the provisions and went, as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the encampment as the host going forth to battle shouted the battle cry. And Israel and the Philistines put the battle in array, army against army. David left his package in the care of the baggage claimer and ran into the ranks and came and greeted his brothers. Now, upon first sight, a lot of us have already read that passage. But upon first sight, that passage just seems harmless. But in reality, he was there to go and do a specific task. He was there to deliver this or go and pick up this. But as soon as he saw the action happening, he dropped everything, and it was like his feet were already moving in the direction before he had time to think. And that is the very thing that we need to be doing as a model of what a Christian is. Now, the reason that I say that is if you give yourself time to think about certain situations, about whether somebody else is going to show up and pray for that individual, if somebody else is going to show up and do deliverance over this individual, you will find a way to talk yourself out of doing that specific task. But there is an actual method that will interrupt your thought processes. Within 5 seconds, it's called the 5-second rule. And if you guys get that book, it will change your entire life and your Christian walk if you allow it to happen, if you apply it to your Christian walk. Now, we have about 5 seconds before our minds begin to talk us out of doing anything that we want to do. And majority of the time, the very thing that we want to do is the very thing that we need to be doing in the first place. But if we give ourselves time to think about it, we will talk ourselves out. And so in our minds, if we count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you immediately just start moving in that direction, regardless of whether you know what you're going to say to that individual, regardless of whether you know what's going to happen when you pray over that person, regardless of whether that person is going to receive it or not, you just begin to move in that direction and you allow the Lord to fill your mouth with what you are to say and what you are to do. I guarantee you the results that are in this Bible that David gained through moving forward without thinking and allowing the Lord to just invade his life are the very results that you will have in your life. Don't think, just move forward in the direction that the Lord has already called for us to do. You guys be blessed, and this is the cure to procrastination in a godly way. Have a good one.